play guitar.
Just 17. Start standing
Play guitar.
there.
How many do you, Jim?
Ooh, I Need Your Love, Babe.
Yeah. 8 days a week.
8 days Ooh, I need your love, babe. Yes, you know it's true. I hope you need my love, babe, just like I did you. Whoa, whoa, hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week. I love you every day, girl. You're always on my mind. And one thing I can say, girl, I love you all the time. Whoa, whoa, hold me, love me, hold me, love me. I ain't got nothing but love, babe. 8 days a week. 8 days. Well, kind of all started when we were in high school. We would get together in the band room, Jim and I and another buddy, and we just kind of sat down and we kept kind of messing around a little bit on the drum sets and stuff, because at lunchtime there was kind of a free period where we would go in after lunch and just kind of goof around and mess around. So I think that's kind of how it grew from there.
Well, we were singing in choir in church
Yeah.
too from the time we were in first grade. So I'd always try to sit next to Steve because it's kind of fun to sit next to somebody who also singing, so you could sing louder and didn't feel stupid. That's better. But,
Yeah,
You guys are choir boys?
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
What happened?
So it was a really good fit, you know. He had the same band interests as I did. I was kind of behind the times as far as getting into the current music in the 80s. I was back in the Beatles and Stones and
Yeah, that works great as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
because I kind of followed music up through the 70s, and like when the 80s came, I kind of started losing interest. So
Well, I think that's part of the reason too that we've stayed together as long as we have is, in general, our interest in music kind of stems from the Beatles, and that era. So, because you see groups all the time that fall apart because they end up having different ideas of what the band's going to do and what direction it's going to go. So I think that's definitely been part of the glue that has kept us.
plus we're too lazy to learn any new songs, so we just keep playing the same old one.
8 days a week. 8 days a week.
Well, I remember back in my day, he had a group called Paul Revere and the Raiders, and when the Beatles and all the English groups came over, they called it the British Invasion, back in '64. So they dressed up like kind of Revolutionary War uniforms. They had like the tri-cornered hats, and they were kind of like an answer to the British invasion, Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Yeah, I remember just hearing their music on the radio, and I know that I have 4 older brothers, and they all loved music, and so I would hear them playing their music or talking about them, and so it was really exciting when I heard that we were going to get a chance to open for them at the Lafayette County Fair. So
I remember, I think Jim, you probably heard from the courthouse. Your wife worked at the courthouse at the time, right?
Yep.
So you were kind of the one that spread the news, and you said, all right, this is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Yeah, then that day came along, and you get to eat with. Sit down. They offer a meal and stuff, so we actually got to sit down and eat with Paul Revere and the Raiders and their families and so on. And that was really cool. At that meal, when we were talking to him, Paul Revere was an older guy at this point, and he had, really thick glasses. We were just kind of talking about this. He had really thick glasses and really looked like an older gentleman that
I'm like, how is he going to entertain all these people?
I brought this 45, one of the ones I took, and I said, can I get your autograph on this? It's an old Columbia 45 with Good Thing and Undecided Man. And he goes, oh, that's an old one. He looked at it and he found the Good Thing, and he says, oh, that's a good song there. He says, I'll sign that. So he signed that for me, and nobody had phone cameras then, so I didn't get a picture with him, but that's pretty good too.
So then we got up to play, and the stage at the Lafayette County Fair is kind of different because first of all, it's really big, which isn't that much different, but there's a track, like where they do tractor pulls and car races and so on. Yeah. And then there's the grandstand. So we were quite a ways away from most of the people. Some people brought chairs and could sit on the track, but it felt a little different than what it usually does. But when we went off, somebody, I don't know who it was, Paul Revere or one of them commented, wow, you guys went through how many songs we went through in about it, because we opened up for about 45 minutes.
Paul himself, I remember coming out and said, geez, you guys played about 100 songs, he said. We were kind of nervous. We didn't, even when we play normally, we don't do a whole lot of talking in between songs. It depends. But we didn't hardly do it, I think, hardly talk at all in between songs. We were all pretty nervous. So
That and what happens when you're nervous, your tempo goes out.
I saw her standing there. We did like one verse. We did the middle part, my heart went booming that. Then we came back to the end, and you took it out. You started, and then I saw her standing there. Then I saw her. I remember we were looking at each other like, we did about a 45-second version of that one.
Yeah.
Going faster on top of it and then leading upward.
So. Well, I don't remember that.
Let's start over again. I screwed that up already. I get nervous.
All right, wait. Let me try again. Rock it, Richie.
Yeah.
But it's like all the other shows were kind of similar in the fact that it's a blur that we're stuck in the corner of a bar, and there's foggy with smoke in there and drunk people, and that one definitely sticks out. I think we're just lucky, whether we played for Paul Revere or anything. I feel lucky every time we get up and we play together and everything like that we've had the opportunity to do this, because this is kind of a universal dream that I think everybody has, that they'd like to get up and perform, play guitar, and whether they want to admit it or not. But we're just lucky to have been able to do what we've been doing, even at just this kind of
Well, there were a lot of things that fell in place for us. Being in the same class with a couple of guys that were interested in music, and very lucky that we had Rich and Dave McGranahan that were able to join in and bolster what we, take us to the next level of what we were doing before that. And then super lucky to be able to do it with guys that are good guys and friends and people who you enjoy doing it with. It was a great experience. I wish everybody who plays in a band, at least if they didn't make it famous or big, had a chance to do something like we did, and it had as much fun and had a group that they went to see that was like that and treated them the way that those guys treated us. It was really a great experience.
Yeah, if there was a mediocre rock and roll Hall of Fame, we probably would have been inducted by now.
That's got a good meaning to it. I like
Yeah, it
that
does.
ending. It's really got a powerful ending.
Way to go, Richie!
We got a few words, but I think it
Should have warmed up a little bit first, I think.